What's up, Acolyte Squad? My name is Prince, and I'm an urban acolyte. Let's talk about The Mandalorian Season 2 and Ahsoka Tano, who we believe is showing up this week. I'm going to apologize to you guys. I just have not felt like doing my review of last week's episode. I actually had a lot that I wanted to say after I saw the episode, but I just didn't feel like sitting down and writing out a review. Tomorrow, what is tomorrow? Because it's already Wednesday night here, so Thursday. Tomorrow, I will try my best to sit down, and I'm just going to straight up off the dome record my review after I go back and watch the episode again. I'm probably going to have to take some notes to kind of remember like my talking points, and we'll discuss the episode, break it down. Actually, I'm not even going to break it down because everybody else has done that on freaking YouTube. I'm just going to talk about the themes and the stuff that stood out to me and go from there. And, I'll try to keep it under 15 minutes, but we'll see how it goes. But anyway, there's this article about Ahsoka Tano that came out from Inverse that I caught. And, we're experimenting with the channel, this whole new straight up off the dome format. So, if I see something that I want to talk about, I'm just going to come on off the dome and go through it with you guys. So let's take a look at this article real quick. All right. So this is coming from Inverse. It says The Mandalorian Season 2 runtime leak may reveal an Ahsoka twist. So Ahsoka is coming to The Mandalorian in Season 2, Episode 5. For any fan of Star Wars television, this is a huge deal. However, that's basically all we know about her role in the show. There's no confirmation on whether she'll join the main cast, become a recurring figure like Peli Motto or Grief Karga, or simply have a cameo appearance in Mando's continued journey to learn more about the Jedi sorcerers. However, a runtime leak from a German regulatory website may shed some light on her future. Excuse me. A leak from German Television Regulatory Board, FSK. This is coming from Murphy's Multiverse. I guess I should have gone to Murphy's Multiverse website because I like to go to the original sources. But anyway, says that confirms that The Mandalorian Chapter 13 will have a runtime of 45 minutes. That's a good deal longer than the previous 2 episodes, which clocked in just over half an hour each. It's also about as long as Season 1's finale, which bodes well for an action-packed episode. However, those who follow Star Wars leaks closely may be disappointed. The previous leak misread the airing times for The Mandalorian on an international website and came to the conclusion that Chapter 13 would be closer to an hour, like the Season 2 premiere. I remember Noah and Corey were putting out it was going to be like 57 minutes. That's why I'm probably going to unfollow them on Twitter. So while it won't be the longest episode we'd had this season, it's still longer than usual. So what does this mean for Ahsoka? A 45-minute episode makes it tricky to tell if Anakin's old Padawan will appear in multiple episodes of The Mandalorian Season 2. By comparison, 30 minutes wouldn't be enough to include all the background information Ahsoka will have for Mando and Baby Yoda, while a full hour would have been a major clue for a one-off adventure, much like Cobb Vanth in the Season 2 premiere. But 45 minutes could go either way. Even though Ahsoka's creator Dave Filoni is only directing Chapter 13, Ahsoka feels too integral to Baby Yoda's journey to be confined to the length of a single episode. The most likely option is that the new episode will be dedicated to her character, but she'll return in future episodes or seasons to provide aid, sort of like Moff Gideon in The Mandalorian Season 1 finale. Moff Gideon has the Darksaber, and no matter how much Beskar Mando acquires, he won't stand a chance against the famous Mandalorian lightsaber. Another saber is needed in order to defeat him, and Ahsoka is the only character with lightsaber training available. So while she may not be in much of Season 2 outside of a 1-episode appearance, it's very likely Ahsoka shows up again to lend Mando a hand in protecting the future of the Jedi, aka Baby Yoda. I got some thoughts on this. Alright, so I feel like everybody is assuming a lot, especially this article. It is assuming a lot. One, that Baby Yoda's the future of the Jedi. That may be true. It may be true. But let's think about this. What happens this is 5 years, 20 years later would be 25 years. 25 years later, we have The Force Awakens. Luke Skywalker has raised up the Jedi. Kylo Ren, his nephews, defeated them, destroyed them, wiped them out. Luke goes into hiding, and we end up, 26, 27 years later with Rey as basically the last Jedi. Are there other Force sensitive people out there? Yes, there are. Finn, Jannah, and Tamiri Bragg, the Broom Boy. I'm sure there are many other Force sensitive people out there waiting to do something, to rise up in there to be a new Jedi Order or whatever direction they decide to go. There probably some kid will probably find remnants of the Sith Eternal Cult, or whatever happened to the Brotherhood of the Wills, or no, the Acolytes of the Beyond. Maybe they're still out there, and the Sith end up coming back, or some new group of Darksiders who's devoted to the Sith religion, right? Somehow they come back. But we don't know what the outcome, the status of Baby Yoda is. The Baby Yoda could very well become one of Rey's. That could be the next story. Rey finds Baby Yoda and she starts to teach him, and Baby Yoda truly is the future of the Jedi. But this is assuming that Ahsoka is going to take Baby Yoda on, and I don't see it that way. I don't think that's what's going to happen at all. What was the last thing we saw of Ahsoka in Star Wars Rebels? Was she meets with Sabine and they go off to look for Ezra. We have no idea when the epilogue occurs in Star Wars Rebels. For all we know, Ahsoka could be hanging out on on Corvus. Is that the name of the planet where they're going to? She could be on Corvus and she's like, sorry, I can't do that. I got to meet up with another Mandalorian on what's Ezra's home planet? I started to say Terrace because I literally just recorded a video where I was talking about the Knights of the Old Republic game before this. What is, y'all know Ezra Bridger's planet. I can't think of it off the top of my head right now. But what I'm saying is she could literally be on her way to go meet Sabine and say, nope, I'm sorry. I'm not a Jedi. I'm no Jedi. I can't help you. I can tell you about the Jedi, but I'm not one. Maybe, hey man, Luke Skywalker's out there. You should find him, or better yet, wait for him to find you. And, Mando was like, yo, I can't do that. Maybe there's got to be some other Jedi out there. Maybe Ahsoka knows. Maybe we don't. Cal Kestis could still be somewhere out there and he considers himself a Jedi. He could have been off doing something else during the Galactic Rebellion. We don't know. Where's Ezra? What's his story? There's a whole lot of twists and turns and possibilities for this. And people are just assuming, oh yeah, he's going to give Baby Yoda to Ahsoka and that's going to be the end of the Baby Yoda story. And then the Mandalorian's going to jump into the restoration of Mandalore. We've already seen that Moff Gideon has big plans for Baby Yoda. And I don't think it's going to be so simple as Moff Gideon, Ahsoka and Baby Yoda, that's the new thing. And it all turns out happily. For one, what was the last thing we saw in the epilogue from the previous episode? That one of those mechanics that repaired the Razor Crest put a tracker on the ship. So what do you think is going to happen when Din Djarin and Baby Yoda get to Corvus? Moff Gideon is going to follow him there because he's tracking him. Oh, where's he going? Let's go find out. And maybe Ahsoka has to fight off the Empire and they end up, she's like, yo, look for me here. I'll come back and I'll give you some more information when I locate the Jedi, because I'm looking for them too. I'm not a Jedi. I was trained at the Jedi Temple, but I'm no Jedi. Right now, I know the episode is titled The Jedi, but is it the Jedi in general, or are they referring to Ahsoka as a Jedi? I said this before on another I think it was actually the last review that I've actually posted, would that have been chapter 11? I said, Ahsoka's a Force mystic. We don't know what she is now. My homeboy, Niger, he caught on to that, but I mean, I know him, in real life. He graded some of my papers at Vanderbilt Divinity, when he was working there. He caught that I said that. I didn't just say that just, oh yeah, Ahsoka's a Force mystic, right? Like somebody, like, especially when it's a video that's scripted, like I'm choosing my words carefully. I didn't call Ahsoka a Force mystic just, oh yeah, well she's a Force mystic because she looks like Gandalf the White, right? Like Dave Filoni he did that for a reason. What is that? What is Gandalf the White? What did that mean for Lords of the Ring? I'm really asking y'all because I'm not into Lords of the Ring. What did that mean for those of you who've read Tolkien? And I know, hey man, this is Acolyte Squad. I know some of y'all are there, right? They're sitting the Stupendous Wave channel, the Star Wars Theory channel, the Mike Zero channel where we talk about bubblegum Star Wars. Like, I'm gonna be reading, I know somebody out there has read Tolkien. I'm gonna be checking the comments for that. What did Tolkien, what did he want? What's the difference between Gandalf the Grey and Gandalf the White? Because, up to that point, Ahsoka is Ahsoka the Grey. And I don't mean she's a Grey Jedi because y'all know how I feel about that Grey Jedi thing. I know, Joshua Redena Nerds has been talking about Ahsoka and Ezra are going to go and form the Grey Jedi Order. And it's like, why would Ezra form a Grey Jedi Order? I mean, for all, as far as Ezra knows, he's a Jedi. That's it. And there are no Grey Jedi. There's no gray understanding of the Force, right? You're either a Jedi or you're not. You're devoted to the Jedi code or you're not, right? You're either a Jedi or you're not. If you're a Jedi and you're following the dark side, well, then you're not really being true to the Jedi, but maybe you haven't left the order. Then what does that make you? That makes you some kind of Jedi heretic, right? That means you're a Jedi who's pursuing the dark side. Just like Dooku and Sifo Dyas were when they went to that planet where they weren't supposed to go and started having visions of the Clone Wars, which led to them. Why were Force mystics haven't fallen to the dark side? Like Yoda said, we stopped the prophecies and the mysticism and all of that because they were falling to the dark side, because they were having these premonitions in the Force, these visions in the Force of the future, and they were becoming self-fulfilling prophecies. They either were trying to make them not happen or they were doing things to make them happen, right? Either way, just like Anakin had a premonition of Padme dying in childbirth, and what happened? The more he did to stop it from happening, he just sped it up. It was a self-fulfilling prophecy. He just made his fall, his descent into darkness inevitable because he would not let go of his attachment to not wanting that outcome. He was holding on to this attachment of, I can control the outcome of things. I'm the chosen one. I can, I should be able to manifest my own destiny, right? It's like, so what's that, The Secret or whatever that BS nonsense is that I can manifest whatever I want in a reality. And it's like, yo, man, that doesn't really, there's nothing wrong with positive thinking and, doing everything you can to wish for the best. But at some point, what's a bastardized version of the Bhagavad Gita? In the end, it's all the same. You act, you don't act, but in the end, it's all the same, right? You wish for the best and prepare against the worst, but whether you do or you don't, it's all the same in the end, right? We all gonna end up in the same place at some point. And that's getting back to this, because I got kind of philosophical on y'all, deeper than I want to get when it's late here. I feel like this is assuming way too much, just like with I knew I was going somewhere with this, just like with the premonitions and the Force and people fall into the dark side. They see this thing, it doesn't happen. I'm angry, I'm upset, and now I'm going to make it happen, right? Why are so many Star Wars fans upset with the sequel saga. Oh, well, because the story sucked. Well, you know why the story sucked? Because a whole lot of people got prepared for a certain outcome. They had certain beliefs about the story, and when those beliefs didn't turn out to be reality, the reality of the story, that is, not reality, because we're talking about fiction. All of this is fiction, right? Then their expectations, they said, like, one guy was like, my expectations weren't met. And I'm like, well, you had expectations that were not met. You were expecting something, but the director, the writers, the producers had a different vision. Is it their fault that what you want, the story that you prepared to see in your own mind, is not what played out on the screen? I mean, do you have any credits on the movie? Were you part of the creative process? Because I don't know what your real name is, but I know what your screen name, your handle is on YouTube. And I didn't see any of those names in the credits. Now, if you helped produce the movie, you were talking to J.J. Abrams and Chris Terrio, Ryan Johnson, or Lawrence Kasdan, or the first guy who wrote the first version that they tossed out of The Force Awakens. If you were any of those guys, or you helped them out, then, you might be entitled to having that opinion. But even still, at some point you got to let go. You can't be attached to it. Right. I don't know about this. What's the name of this article again? It may reveal an Ahsoka twist. I mean, I think Ahsoka probably could be a recurring character, but my thinking all along from the beginning was that Ahsoka's appearance would be like one episode, and it would set up a spinoff for Ahsoka. Is that Ahsoka and Baby Yoda? Like WandaVision? Is it going to be Ahsoka and Baby and me? I don't think so. I thought that this would set up the sequel to Star Wars Rebels, right? Whatever Ezra is doing, Sabine and Ahsoka and Captain Rex. I thought that it would set up that story, not Ahsoka coming and doing her thing with Din Djarin and Baby Yoda and all of that. So, and then, this thing about it also said sort of like Moff Gideon being set up as a character who would return for future episodes, right? Moff Gideon is the reason for all of this. The story is because of Moff Gideon, right? Moff Gideon is an integral character. It's not, oh, Moff Gideon's here. It's more like Moff Gideon has created the situation, but right, because bad guys are proactive, good guys are reactive. Moff Gideon was the one that wants the child, right? Now we're finding out because, he's doing, apparently he's trying to make Force sensitive clones from Baby Yoda, so which means he knows a lot about Baby Yoda. So we're talking about Ahsoka being the one to tell us everything about Baby Yoda. No, it's Moff Gideon who knows everything about the child. It's Moff Gideon who's going to give us all of that information. Ahsoka is really, this is a story I feel like to set up Ahsoka's ongoing story, right? And I got some feelings about that. Some stuff that I've been holding I've been playing the cards close to the chest about Ahsoka and possibly Ezra, because these are Dave Filoni's babies. Now, Ahsoka, George Lucas came up with her, and Dave Filoni carried her story on. But then we get to Ezra Bridger. That's Dave Filoni's baby. And I really, really had been holding off on telling y'all some stuff. I was going to write it out, but man, Off the Dome is probably the best way to do it. So you guys, you really got to stay tuned. When I was like, man, y'all want me to respond to a Den of Nerds thing that like Josh said about where he was talking about Ahsoka and Ezra. I was like, man, he had some good stuff to say, but hey man, the shit I got to say is way more John Blaze than that. It's way more John Blaze than that, because I had time to sit, listen to what other people were saying on top of what I was already thinking. And, man, I don't know when I'm gonna put it out. Maybe I'll put it out next week after we see what Ahsoka's talking about in this next episode. But yeah, man, y'all will have to stay tuned, and it'll be Off the Dome like this, and yeah, it's going to be John Blaze. Y'all will just have to wait. But for now, I want to see maybe Ezra gets name dropped, something which will really help that video out more, because right now nobody's talking about Ezra Bridger, which means, ain't nobody really going to see the video if I do it. So stay tuned for that. But this article, yo, man, I'm going to just say, like, don't get your hopes up for this big Ahsoka story in The Mandalorian. I feel like it's a lead, like, yo, man, I finally found a Jedi. I know where I'm going to take you, kid. And Moff Gideon is going to come in and mess everything up. And then on top of that, Ahsoka's going to be like, look, I'm not a Jedi. I'll help you out, but I'll help you find where this kid needs to be. He reminds me of somebody I knew, but, that person is gone, or maybe she doesn't know that Yoda's dead. Who knows? But I feel like they're setting everybody up, and Ahsoka's coming back and this and that. I think Ahsoka will do something cool, some really cool stuff. Everybody will be hyped, just like, when we saw Bo-Katan Kryze and the Night Owls. But I don't know, man. A big thing that I'm really seeing in Star Wars is they subvert your expectations. You get hyped up, you expect this one thing, and then this other thing happens. What I would be really kind of expecting to see more than this is that we find out Moff Gideon is Force sensitive. Like, he comes out, uses the Force, tries to Force choke Ahsoka or something to get Baby Yoda. And I think this could be the episode where the episode leaves with him, surprising everybody, and he takes Baby Yoda for himself. Because I really think that I said, maybe the back half of the season could be Bo-Katan getting kidnapped, but that was based on some other article. But I think what's really going to happen is it's going to end up with, we spend the latter half of the season a big rescue mission trying to rescue Baby Yoda from the Empire, because I do think that Moff Gideon is going to get his hands on Baby Yoda, and that's where, like Giancarlo Esposito said, he's using the Darksaber a lot. He's doing a lot of fighting. We haven't seen that yet. It wasn't teased in any of the trailers or teasers, but please believe, I think that's what's going to happen in these last 4 episodes. The last half of season 2 is going to be, learning more about Moff Gideon, his plans, how he got the Darksaber, and where this story is going to go as it starts to wind down season 2, but set up season 3. And I think season 2 is going to end with a bang. I would hope that it doesn't mean Baby Yoda gets killed, because I don't think that's going to happen. I think there will be a happy ending for Baby Yoda. I don't know if that happy ending will be him finding the Jedi. I said I was holding off on this because I didn't want to spoil it, but this is just a speculation. It's something I heard, but I think that this Baby Yoda story is going to end with him returning to wherever Yoda's species is. That's really truly how I think the story for Baby Yoda will end, is that he returns to his kind. And that's why you don't see him in The Last Jedi, the sequel saga, where he doesn't become a student of Luke. Din Djarin doesn't take him to Luke, because we know what Luke was doing, right? It's in The Legends of Luke Skywalker, and Luke pretty much tells you what he was doing in The Last Jedi. So yeah, but Ahsoka, I think Moff Gideon is actually going to steal the show in this episode, and I would not at all be surprised if this actually happens before we see Ahsoka return to Lothal to meet with Sabine Wren. I could be wrong. I would like to be wrong, because that would mean we might see Sabine. But just the fact that if we don't see Sabine or Rex and it's just Ahsoka by herself, then that's going to be my hunch, is that, okay, this is before she goes back to see Sabine, and then the spinoff is, okay, yeah, there's a Baby Yoda running around with a Mandalorian. We got to find Ezra, and then maybe Ezra will be interested in taking this Yoda Padawan on, because Ezra knows Yoda, right? But maybe it doesn't happen because Well, we don't know where Ezra is. He's out in wild space somewhere with Thrawn. If they survived, if they're alive. So we'll have to wait and see. But I don't know. Those are my thoughts on that. I'd like to hear yours. So let me know your thoughts in the comments below. And I'll be checking back to see what you all have to say about Ahsoka, your predictions for Ahsoka in chapter 13 of The Mandalorian season 2, titled The Jedi. But I'm going to wrap this one up. It's been fun hanging out with y'all. This is Prince, the Urban Acolyte, coming straight off the dome to y'all from Jom Tien Beach, Thailand. And thanks for hanging out. Y'all keep on breathing, and I'll holler at you in the next video.